Hello, it's Jim Hutchens for the Jerusalem Connection Spot Report for this week. Glenn Beck, as you may know, has just completed a very highly publicized tour of Israel, culminating with some meetings in the temple area. And during those meetings he said this. He said, "The truth is that in Israel there's more courage in 1 square mile than in all of Europe. In Israel there's more courage in one Israeli soldier than in the combined and cold hearts of every bureaucrat in the United Nations. In Israel you can find people who will stand against incredible odds, against the entire tide of global opinion, for what is right and good and true. Israel's not a perfect country. No country is perfect, but it tries and is courageous." Now, there have been those among Christians who've questioned the spiritual credentials of Glenn Beck because he's a Mormon. But I'm reminded of the account that's given to us in the Gospel of Mark. The disciples came to Jesus. They said to him, "Teacher, we saw a man driving out demons in your name, and we tried to stop him because he was not one of us." And Jesus responded by saying this, "Do not stop him. No one who does a miracle in my name can in the next moment say anything bad about me, for whoever is not against us is for us." And I say, Glenn Beck is for us, and he is for Israel. And I think we should be exceedingly glad about that. Caroline Glick covered Glenn Beck's trip to Israel and his meetings there. And she's very astute. She is probably the most astute commentator in her analysis of all things Israel. I look to her and welcome what she has to say. She said this regarding Beck's visit there. "In general, the Israeli media responded to Beck's visit either as a non-event or distorted who Beck is and what he is trying to do." She went on to say, Israel's media didn't come to their hatred of Beck on their own. Most of it is fueled by American Jewish leftists. And then she goes on to identify Beck as a Christian Zionist. She says this, "In truth, the media's embrace of Israel's enemies, their rejection of Beck, and most important, Beck's refusal to bow to their conventional wisdom that Israel's enemies should be praised and its friends should be condemned, all reveal the reason that Christian Zionists," listen to this reveals the reason that Christian Zionists can be trusted and embraced by Israelis. She goes on to say, "Christian Zionists, like Jewish religious Zionists, are unmoved by the media's intimidation because of their faith in God and their reliance on the Scriptures. Their faith provides them with a means of judging reality that is independent of their largely post-religious intellectual commissariat that runs the media and the cultural elite of the world. They don't seek, nor do they care about receiving the accolades of the New York Times or other post-religious totems for their actions." Christian Zionist, I would remind you, is one who supports the modern state of Israel as a partial fulfillment of God's covenant promise to provide a national homeland for the Jewish people. I say partial because it will only be ultimately fulfilled when Jesus, the Messiah, comes and establishes his millennial kingdom. But until then, we need to welcome the ranks of Glenn Beck's into our ranks as Christian Zionists. He's one of us, and we can be grateful for him. So until next week, Od Yavo Shiloh, until Messiah comes, Shalom Aleichem.